Yes, good morning, GQ. Good morning to my guests, and good morning to those of you listening via radio, internet, or whatever social media platform. I am Alrick Edwards, Inspector of Police, and the host for today's program, Policing with You. It is my pleasure to have this morning with me Inspector Shorna Edwards and Sergeant Marvin Thompson. The topic for today's program is the Royal St. Christopher Nevis Police Force and policing in general. The origin of community-oriented policing can be traced back to 1829, when British statesman Robert Peel, known as the founder of modern policing, launched the principles of democratic policing. Over time, policing became more structured and the aim of policing changed. August Vollmer, the father of modern policing, stressed the importance of sociology, social work, psychology, and management in police work. They both believed that when there is no crime, that signifies what a good policing was. Over the years, policing evolved, and science and techniques were introduced to aid investigators, hence what we have today. The Royal St. Christopher Nevis Police Force mission statement is a true reflection of this modernization. Good morning again. This show will take its normal format. Question: what is the mission statement of the Royal St. Christopher Nevis Police Force?
The purpose of the good morning. Morning to those who will be listening by whatever platform or media they will be listening. My name is Marvin Thompson, Sergeant of Police, as the Inspector said earlier. The purpose of the Royal St. Christopher Nevis Police Force, by definition, it is to uphold the law fairly and firmly, and with emphasis here, without fear or favor, to prevent crime, to pursue those who break the law, to keep the peace, to reassure residents and our visitors, and to do this with integrity, at least to be seen to do it with integrity and impartiality.
Thank you, Sergeant Thompson. Can you explain the rank structure of this organization?
Well, we know that the commissioner is the chief in the head, so if we're looking from the top down, we have the commissioner of police, who is overall in charge. We have a slot for a deputy commissioner of police, and then we have supporting those roles assistant commissioners of police. After that, you have superintendents. Below the superintendents, you have inspectors, as you are, and then there are sergeants, as I am. After that, there are corporals. After the corporals, you have the constables, who make up the largest portion of the force, and then we have our rank for special constables.
Thank you again, Sergeant Thompson. So what would you say are the responsibilities as well? Tell us about the different insignias worn by each rank.
Right. Good morning, radio listening world, and all those who are listening on various platforms. I'm Inspector Shorna Edwards, and I'm here again on Policing with You. It's always a pleasure. For the badges of ranks, we call it badges of ranks because we do wear badges. We start from the special constable rank. The special constable is just a plain sleeve with a regiment or a serial number attached to it, and he wears that, or she wears that above the right pocket. It's usually marked SC for special constable and a number, so it tells you what number you are, similar to what we have as constables, the other ranks in the force. And he has a plain sleeve. The constable also has a plain sleeve, but we also have an insignia on the shoulder which reads RSCNPF. It means the Royal St. Christopher and Nevis Police Force. For the corporals, they have 2 chevrons, and those chevrons are on top the same shoulder epaulet there, and all the ranks wears the same insignia, Royal St. Christopher and Nevis Police Force. Then we have the sergeants. The sergeants has 3 chevrons. The inspectors, they wear a different color uniform. It's green. You have 2 stars, or people call them pips, but 2 stars is worn on the shoulder, along with along with a card, and attached to a lanyard. Attached to that is a whistle. Okay, the cane that the inspectors carry is a little different. It is not, well, let's put it this way, it's in a leather casing. It's in a leather casing. Okay, for the superintendents, that's just above, he wears 1 crown with a cap. He wears 1 crown on the shoulder, and he has a cap with a silver line on it, and he has the appropriate gadgets similar to what the inspector wears. Then we have the Assistant Commissioner of Police, who wears 1 cross button surrounded by laurel leaves and 1 star, and his cap is a little different. It has a row of laurel leaves on the cap. And his cane is different. His cane has a whistle attached to it. Okay. For the Deputy Commissioner of Police, he wears 1 cross button surrounded by laurel leaves and 2 stars. His cap has 1 row of laurel leaves on it as well. And his cane is the same as the Assistant Commissioners. Then we have the Commissioner of Police. He wears 1 crown and a star above a cross button surrounded by laurel leaves. And he has 2 laurel leaves on his cap. 2 rows of laurel leaves on his cap. And he has the same cane as the other commissioners.
Thank you, Inspector Francis Edwards. So what would you say are the responsibilities of these ranks?
If you permit me, let me start from my rank, and then I'll work my way back up. Sergeants, what they would say in terms of persons who have some level of supervision, they would probably call the workhorse of the force, in terms that we are like supervisors. If we're looking at maybe a company structure, the sergeants are the supervisors, so they're there on the ground. You would have a similar responsibility for the corporals as well. They're there to make sure that the constables and the special constables, who you might consider regular workers, get the job done. That comes from, quote and unquote, the bosses. The inspectors would be like the managers. They may not be as involved in the regular operations, but they are always there from time to time to make sure that what comes down from the bosses is being carried out. The policies are being enforced. The mandates, the strategies, in terms of what was decided, that is being effected on the ground. When you have the superintendents now, would be more like a general manager. They are less involved in the ground operations, but they would send the instructions, they would get the feedback, they would relay to the commissioners. So the commissioners now are like the directors of the company. They have more of an administrative role to make sure when they make the policies, they decide on the strategies, that information is sent down to the superintendents, who pass it on to the relevant persons to make sure that that is what plays out on the ground. The commissioner, he's the chief director, the CEO, if you want to put it that way. He has overall supervision of what goes on in the police force. He is the person who has the direct responsibility for everything and every person that is a part of the police force. Yeah. That helps.
Yes, I love that overview. Yes. You was well put. But you spoke about directors. So while we're on the topic directors, can one of you explain the directorate system of the organization?
Well, I deliberately use the term directors because as it is in the current structure of the police force, we have what we call directorates. And what that simply is that we still have the units and departments of the police force. But what has happened is that we have grouped like departments and units together. For instance, you have violent crimes unit, you have CID, we have special victims, all which deal with investigation of crimes. So what has happened is that those are put under a directorate with one of the commissioners as the director in the crime directorate. Similarly, with we want to build the organization, we want to improve how we do things, we want to put out the best service that we can. So we have a service improvement directorate. So the issues like training or the relationship with the police, in complaints against police and how we relate, those come under service improvement. No, we can't forget that, and we can't neglect what we do and what people expect in terms of how we enforce things, how we get on the ground, how we stop guns, how we get guns off the street. So you still can't get away from having operations. And you might have tactical units, you might have beat and patrol who are on the ground on a regular basis. So we put those together under operations. So, but then we still, while we're doing all that, we need things to work with. We need tools, we need resources. So we have administration resource, we have technology, because you mentioned earlier in terms of integrating the technology. Again, but in the current environment, with the technology as it is, we need to use it in terms of how we gather intelligence. So we have that in what we call Art and I, who's responsible for making sure that we have the resources, provide the intelligence. So we group those together under a directorate as well. And we have a commissioner who is responsible for each one.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Yes, Mr. Thompson. Thank you for that. So, that very thorough answer to the question. GQ, let us break at this juncture. Upon our return, we will open the lines and solicit calling from the general public. Thank you.
Your vision is our mission at Quartz Optical. Shop today for 25% off plus free blue block. Plus, save up to 65% off our wide selection of designer sunglasses. With ready finance, pay nothing for 30 days. Book your free eye examination appointment at www.quartzoptical.com. Your vision is our mission. Only at Quartz Optical. Value you can see. Conditions apply. See in store for details.
Stop standing in long ATM lines to withdraw cash. Use your national debit or black cards to complete a wide variety of transactions at supermarkets, variety stores, gas stations, pharmacies, and more. Shop online at the most popular websites and stores for quality brands using your national debit or black cards. And take back your time to enjoy all the things that you love to do. Remember, instead of waiting in long ATM lines to withdraw cash, use your national bank cards today.
National Bank, always here. Experience the value. Get the cable's value bundle today. Internet, Ultra TV, free HBO Max, and a free Cable Platinum Loyalty MasterCard for only $157 monthly. Feel the thrill of 74 channels of Ultra TV. Feel the rush of the cable's 35 megabyte Bolt Internet. Maximum streaming entertainment is free with HBO Max and the ultra convenience of the Platinum Loyalty MasterCard. Shop, save, share, and don't forget, get a free internet upgrade when you pay your cable bills with Platinum Loyalty MasterCard. Not a cable customer? Sign up today and get more out of your internet, TV, shopping, and payment experience. The cable's value bundle, Ultra TV, internet, free HBO Max, and Platinum Loyalty MasterCard at $250 value for only $157 per month. Call the cable 465-2588 and come experience the value.
Yes, Mr. Thompson, Sergeant Thompson, in your answer relates to the structure of the organization, the directorates. You spoke about the commissioner, you spoke about the different directorates, operation, crime, service improvement, art and I. But you also spoke about technology and CCTV and telecommunication and so on. You spoke about resources. But to do all these, we must have a person in charge of technology, and we must have a person who finance those resources. Can we elaborate on the structure, the organization, the different organizations that deal with those?
Before you do, Sergeant, and so, I do apologize for interrupting you, Inspector. I wonder if you can hold on that answer. Don't forget it. We have a call on the
yes,
call.
Sure.
Good morning, your life.
Hello, good morning. And good morning to Inspector Shorna Francis Edwards. Good morning to Mr. Thompson. Good morning to Inspector Edwards.
Morning.
Yeah, I'm here listening to the program, and Thompson, I must say, offhand, you did an excellent job in the response, especially because there's a lot of persons and you basically in the community wouldn't understand the structure of the force. Yeah. But the way you did it, I have to congratulate you, because you use terminology that persons, because more person can relate to manager and directors and general manager. I like how you break it down.
Thank you.
I really, I have to call in and congratulate you. You're cool, calm, collective, and you did an excellent job in my personal opinion.
Thank you, sir.
And it's just a pleasure listening. You know what I mean? You have grown over the years, and I just want to congratulate you. I want to wish you all the best. May you go from strength to strength. But, you know what I mean, the police force, as you all are saying, it's evolving. And we just have to face reality. You know what I mean? How the force was back in the 1970 can be in 2022. We just have to adapt and make whatever changes. Because the criminal-minded persons, they are making whatever changes. So the force have to combat whatever the criminals are thinking. Sometimes you just have to think like the criminals and outthink them, just to be in a safe place. But I just want to wish you all the best in this program. May you go from strength to strength. I'll give somebody else an opportunity. Have a good day.
Thank you, Mr. Wilshaw. It's a pleasure always for your contribution. You're calling in. We encourage you to continue so doing. Thank you.
All right. I would allow Sergeant to respond, and then we'll take another call.
Okay. So like I was saying, I was using the analogy of the company. In the same way you have the directors and you have executive of the board, we also have our executive. Now, the executive, we would term it internally the executive high command. Within that structure, we have the commissioners, yes, but we also have a finance officer, a force finance officer, who deals with the monies in terms of administration of the finances related to everything that is needed in the force. So whatever is budgeted for the force is allocated or reallocated through that particular office of the force finance officer. Now, we have a personnel officer who deals with, would more be related to the human resource manager. And the human resource executive.
Capacity building.
Yes. Who deals with the capacity building, the training, the development in terms of assessments, and see what is needed, putting programs in place in terms of developing the human capacity of the police force. We have the technology in terms of telecommunications and where that is going in the CCTV and the other areas. We need, of course, a telecommunications person. We have a telecommunications officer who deals with everything that deals with telecommunications and most of the technology and the internet within the police force as well.
Thank you, Sergeant Thompson.
We have a caller now.
Caller, we listening.
Hey, good morning, you're live.
Good morning, caller, listening.
And good morning, Shorna. You look like you're scared today, you know. What happened? I knew, you know.
I'm good.
Alrick, I want to talk about three things. First, a young man before he got himself in some problem with police, he had a newborn baby. Never see the child yet. And been shut down for about 2-3 years. You know, a serious offense. But well, my argument is, and the court of conscience last night at the circus, we went through it briefly. He hasn't committed a crime in terms of going out there and hurting people. And for that child, newborn, she's now about 3 years. And he, from the time that child born, he hold it once and he being put away. But I believe that young man should get some kind of bail. Whoever in the CID department trying to hinder this young man from getting a bail. No, the law states once you kill people, murder somebody, you're entitled to get a bail. And I want us to just have good conscience and let prevail. Because this country have laws. And no police must try to overdo. You understand, Alrick? No, we're not going to tolerate that in 2022. Alrick, I want to congratulate the Chavez for the work he is doing. Chavez, the superintendent and the West Side. Very good boy. Looking for him to do good things for us in the future. And another thing they want to talk about is that the traffic offenses down there in the circus, where it's time now the traffic put somebody down there in the morning and in the evening to make sure people stop walk from Victoria Square, go right or walk, just walk in the middle of by the clock. You got walking, you got the mark out to walk around. Let me do that, man. It's too much traffic. I see a man nearly get up yesterday, you know, and telling the driver when he wrong. But me know, you see. I tell her this gun thing, man. I'm walking it in city, you know, and I preaching to the attorney general, you know. We want people up when man threatening people with gun in this country, and I walk here, you know. The man Robert Watcher, they're lucky the man alone, you know. Don't care what people are saying, oh, Watcher this and Watcher point this and no. You must get order here. People should have to walk anywhere in Sinkets and nobody threatening them. No. Alrick, have a good day, yeah?
Thank you, Mr. Manos, and your contribution. Thank you for that. GQ, are there any more calls? What are the 3 pillars of policing for the West and Christopher Nevis Police Force?
Okay, for the 3 pillars that we have been operating on, we have community policing, we have intelligence-led policing, and we have predictive policing. Want to expound on that?
Yes, can you just briefly expound on?
Well, community policing, this is a philosophy that promotes organizational strategies which support the systematic use of partnerships and problem-solving techniques. The partnerships are with the public, definitely, to proactively address the immediate conditions that gives rise to public safety issues such as crime, social disorder, and fear of crime. In a nutshell, it is just saying we are building a relationship with the public so that we can get ideas and we put suggestions forward, and together we come as a team to fight crime and the fear of crime. For the intelligence-led policing, that's where after you would have gathered information, you go straight out and you do whatever enforcement that you can to ensure that the tranquility or the normalcy of the community is retained. And then for the predictive policing, that's where after you would have gathered enough intelligence, like a pattern has developed, you could say, okay, I know what's going to happen next. And you mount operations to make sure that you catch the culprit.
Inspector, if you would allow me.
Yes.
We're able to do this because of some of the technologies that we have implemented. The crime management system, or what we call the CMS, where we collect the data, so that a lot of the operations that we're doing, a lot of the things that we're doing are data driven.
Yes.
So you don't necessarily just send somebody down the road because you need a police down the road. But we're down the road, do you need the police? The data that we collect in the system tells us that we need somebody on 4th Street as opposed to across Newtown. So we use that to better utilize the resources that we have.
So you're saying, based on the data that you collect, the statistician can extrapolate what will make a projection as to what is likely to happen.
Yes.
Exactly.
The time,
the information when inputted in the system, the information we get from the public in terms of the issues that they are facing, the reports that are made, when the stats is analyzed, we can say that, okay, weekends in Boardwalk between 10 and 2, we have break-ins on a consistent basis. So we don't need to now wonder whether or not we should send somebody there. We know that, okay, this happens on the weekend. So if it happened last weekend, before anything happens next weekend, you send somebody there beforehand. So we use the information in that way. Beautiful.
Thank you again, Sergeant Thompson.
Yes.
Can you touch on the 4 E's of community-based policing?
Well, the E's with regards to community policing, we have education, we have engagement, we have engineering, but as always, we have enforcement.
Yes. Can you elaborate on each E?
So education is always important. We may talk community policing, but what does that mean to the average person? We need to educate in terms of what we're trying to do, what we're doing, as opposed to going and so we're setting up activities. We need to get the involvement of the public. Since we're saying community policing, we need to involve the community as necessity. To do that, we need to engage them. And that engage them, we're not talking confrontation, but we're talking about having conversation, having discussion, as opposed to we determine what they need, go and ask them, what do you need? What is priority for you within your community? And then we ask, how can we help you, working with you to fix the issues that you are facing? Because we know that crime is not a police issue. Crime is an everybody issue.
Beautiful. Beautiful. Community-based policing versus traditional policing. What is the difference?
Well, I joined the police force a few years ago.
A few years?
almost 3 decades ago. I'm still a young man, almost 3 decades ago. I joined the police force, and when I joined, what we did generally is that we went in Marcia and we walked about. We went in McKnight and we walked about. You got your orders from the station, you went and you walked about. You got a call, you responded.
When you walk about, what we call the
patrol. Patrol is the beat.
The beat.
The beat. So, and for the most, that was it. You had some operations in terms of whether it was the stills for the moonshine or pulling up marijuana plants, and in terms of operations, for the most, that was it. And you might have gotten intel, but it might have been that somebody gave you some information, or you were doing some recon. That was it. Today, we are far removed from that. We don't just go, but we know why we are going before we go.
Yes.
So we implement the technology. Like I was saying, in terms of we collect the data from the calls we get in the crime management system. With the traffic system, we have a traffic system where now we know who are registered. We don't need to call traffic department to find out if this vehicle is licensed or insured. If we have data on the phone, we take up the phone, put the system, punch in the number, and the information is there real time. Before you make a call and hope somebody answers the phone. So we are using technology in innovative ways now to improve the service that we provide for the public, to improve the efficiency in which we do the jobs, to better utilize the resources that we have. And now we're talking community policing. We're not just saying we're coming and do things for you. We want to work with you. What's the name of the show?
Police with you.
So we're not policing just for you, we're policing with you. We're saying partner with us. Tell us what matters to you most in terms of the crime, the disorder, the fear. Tell us. Let's sit down and determine how can we best serve you. How can we police with you, not just for you. So that in and of itself is far removed from what it was months ago, where police would come to you when something happens. We're saying before something happens, let's have a conversation, let's have a discussion, let's remain in contact. So you know me, I know you. Familiarity in terms of the elements of the community policing again. Visibility, familiarity. You know who the police is in your area, and the police know who you are. So that when something happens, we already have relationship. It makes life a lot easier.
Yeah, there's a DDAX principle taught in university where a police patrol would patrol. Well, a patrol will patrol an area 2 miles apart, and the patrol officer has to know every single house, every occupant of those houses in his patrol area. Call it DDAX. It's a data-driven event to crime and traffic safety. So it's really a traffic enforcement policy, but the patrol officer has to be aware of all the person. Right. Carl, we listening? Good morning.
Yes. Alrick, you just said something there, that the patrols them must know every houses and who live in these houses in a community, right?
Yes, sir.
Okay. But when you're seeing around town with these young police, for instance, down Port Zante, you see two men fighting, and you try to engage the police to tell them, man, this thing ain't supposed to happen down here 2 weeks around. There's nothing new. I want to know if it's because there's a rasta and I support. You understand? And this is the problem. Down in the terminal, you see the abuse, busmen and so incorporating. Bad word like water running down College Street, got and Westbourne got. Come on, man. Visitors around come on the cruise ship. Hear them ask me yesterday. Why is it these people at the bus stand behave like that? I mean, just arguing with one another. They behave like jails boy from a human morning time with the instruments turn up. The loudest a bad word and play like they don't. They can't think it. We ain't so. We never saw. I don't know where this thing come from, you know. You know, from since we went and signed that treaty, the free movement thing, things just mash up. This is Jam now you're talking right with. Have a good day.
Yes, Jam Down.
You take care. No.
Thank you, Jam Down, for your contribution. Right, the thing I just spoke of is called DDAX, and it is the acronym is DDATS, DDATCS, and it means data-driven approach to crime and traffic safety. Now, you taught it. We taught this in university. We are. Call, are we listening?
Hey, GQ.
Hey, good morning. You're live, man.
GQ, this is Jam Down Brother, Sonny Boy, calling from New York. GQ, in America, we call community police snitching. Nobody can talk to the police and tell them nothing because you'll be a pariah in your community. So unfortunately, there are a lot of people in St. Kitts now, they look at the TV from America, they look at the cable TV, and they see a lot of things that happen in America, and they take pattern off of that. So it's very hard to get the community to talk to police. Because in New York, people in the community don't talk to police because they call you snitch. So, Inspector Edwards, I'm Jam Down Brother, Sonny Boy.
Okay. Thank you, Sonny Boy, for your contribution. Did you get any more callers? Thank you, Sonny Boy.
With reference to what the caller just said, it's not about snitching. It's a matter of trying to keep your community safe. Now, if we are going to partner with the community, of course they will have to tell us things, and we will have to see how we could combat whatever issues that they are facing. So it's not about snitching, it's about keeping your community safe, keeping your children out of trouble, giving them an alternative, maybe a recreational facility that you can go to, teaching them certain programs. We can give them survivor skills. All those are things that, those are positive outcomes with reference to the police being involved in communities. It gives a real cohesion between the police. It builds trust and support, and the community gives their support as well, willingness to cooperate with the police. So I don't see it as snitching,
Inspector, if you would allow me, okay?
Yeah, sure.
The culture is the culture, whether we adapted it or not, in terms of how people view police are giving information to the police. What we need to do is, how do we deal with that? How do we combat to them that what you're considering snitching is more or less hurting yourself? If something happens to you, a matter which the police needs to deal with, what do you do? What would you want for yourself? How would you help yourself? Would you want the police to get involved? Would you want someone else, a neighbor, a sister, a brother, a community member who might have seen something to assist in getting a remedy, a solution, bringing justice for you? How do you help yourself? When you go to the police and you report what's happened to you, are you considering yourself snitching? Or are you looking for justice? And we use the word a lot, Justice begins with us, an individual. You helping yourself by helping somebody else when the issue. What you want in return, you give when you have an opportunity to. Yes, so you're not snitching. You're helping yourself. If you say what happens in terms of the negative things in your community that relates to the police, and you bring the information, you're helping yourself, because you are making your community safer. You are taking the forefront to help yourself. What you're doing when you come to the police is partnering with the police to help you in your community. So it's not about snitching, you're helping yourself.
Yes, beautiful. GQ, are there any more calls? GQ? What style of policing listed in question 10 above is more effective in both of your opinion? And
policing.
I need both of you to answer, because he might have a very different.
I without question say community policing, not because I am pushing for the department and in terms of what the strategies are, but because I wholeheartedly believe that it is a better way. If for nothing else, because it's inclusive. Some of the tenets of the community police is in inclusive communication, effective and inclusive communication with the community. So it's not the police trying to do something now. It's the police and the community recognizing that we need each other and working together. So, hands down.
Don't forget your point. Just stick up in for a little bit. Caller, we listening?
Yes, good morning, police.
Good morning.
Sir.
Yeah, good morning, you can everybody. Now, I was waiting to tune in to the program, but I dozed off, and the phone just wake me up. My wife and the road driving going, and she said, up there when you reach 7 mile and large project there, right in the bend there, a pickup truck coming from Cairn way, all around the corner there as though he running from police, and all the way up and so she had to run in close by the wall there where large house table is, to escape he. Run through the grass, and he got full speed up Malin side. Now, I say this, police cannot be all everywhere like a lamppost to the side of the road. But what I am asking for years, police need to be like America police. America police get the pay from on the road. And if you enter your police car and you make a U-turn where you're not supposed to do it, as soon as you go on the U-turn, you're going to see blue light and you hear the wow wow. And then that's something to the police paycheck. So I am saying, put the police on the road to patrol 24/7. So you can see the small place, you only 32 miles around the island road. Even though the country is 68 miles, square miles. I ride me a lappy go on there in less than 2 hours from bike. And when there's no police on the road, they're going to drive with caution and caution. They're going to be cautious. They're going to be driving like their eyes shut. Too many people become vegetable because they're ignorant, careless, worthless people driving on the road. And then when you look at it, the case will take 9 years before they try. That's my problem with these cases here. Cases where people get injured and knocked down with vehicle are supposed to take more than a year to try. So, thanks for taking my report. Police, go up on the road. Otherwise, line. You see a lot of people don't have no patience, you know. I don't want that here in St. Kitts. We don't want that. But when people believe they're blind and ignorant and stupid, somebody just shut them, well, I could be blind and ignorant just as them. Thank you, gentlemen and ladies, whoever there on the panel, to listen.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you, sir. Are there any more callers, GQ? Wait, you're saying...
Before you continue, let me let the public know that's going to be your final call.
Huh?
I was saying that's going to be your final call.
Okay, no problem. Thanks.
So like I was saying, and we welcome the calls. We welcome what the gentleman is saying, because that is what we're talking about. That you tell us what are the issues important to you. So we might feel that the patrols that we're doing are effective based on the results that we're getting, but the caller and other callers may feel that we need to be more visible, which is part of what we are pushing in the community policing, the visibility. But we want the communication in terms of what do you want? Effective communication. So he has identified what is important to him and the specific area. So now it's for us to, whether it needs that we reach out and have a conversation with him and other persons in the community, and similarly in other communities, and see how can we best address this. Work with us to help you in this particular situation. That, in effect, is what we're talking about when we're talking about community policing.
Beautiful. And you share the same sentiments?
Same sentiments, community policing. I recall when we started it's now known as the National Intervention Team. I recall we did a lot of walking in the Newtown area. It was myself and another sergeant, her name was Sergeant Donna Henderson. And people were amazed, how you have 2 women walking in Newtown? We said, well, we are not fearful of anyone. We haven't done anyone anything, so why should it be difficult? We want to interact with you all, find out what are your concerns in the community, and we will see how best we can assist you to solve, resolve these concerns. And we went back a couple of times and we worked with some youths in the area who were talking about unemployment and football and those kind of stuff. And we said, no problem. We're going to get some persons to come and talk to you, find out what you can do, and then see if you can get a job with them.
Yes, thank you.
So it helps.
Thank you, Inspector. Anything in closing from you guys? We should end up the show basically, but Shorna is the most senior, so I'll give you go first and then she.
Understood. It's understood. So, like I was saying, just to reiterate, in terms of the community policing push, the drive, what we're saying is that the police is here for you, to work with you. Let's have a conversation. Tell us what are the things that are important to you, the things that disturb you within your community, and let's work together to find remedies, to problem solve, and get resolutions to those issues. We're talking about not just for adults, but in youth. Let's change the conversation. We have young people who might lose their way. Part of the community policing issue solution is diversion. As opposed to channeling the youth through the normal court system to prison, we're talking about alternatives.
Yep.
The explorers, you catch them early, you direct them properly. So let's have the conversation, not just the police bringing a program to you, but let's have a conversation on what you think could work best. You know your children, you know the community, you know better than we do what the issues are there. So let's have the conversation and let's get real time, real meaningful problem solutions, and let's move forward with that.
Thank you, Sergeant Thompson. And Inspector Francis,
yes, please. You would have mentioned something about Sir Robert Peel's and his principles, and I just want to highlight the first three of them. The first one speaks to the basic mission of the police is to prevent crime and disorder, as opposed to the alternative of enforcing punishment. And this is one of the things that we are seeking to do with the community policing. We want to prevent crime and disorder. So we come to you, we're meeting you halfway, we expect that you will come to us and meet us halfway. The next one is the ability for the police to perform their duties. It is dependent on public approval and police existence, actions, behavior, and the ability for the police to secure and maintain the police respect, the public respect. Now, we know that we are all human beings, we have made mistakes, and we will make mistakes. But it's what we do when we make the mistakes. We build, we change the course, and we make sure that whatever we do going forward is respected, it is done within the realms of the law, and definitely we would like the police, the public, to share a part, because we are all humans. The same way that the police will say, oh gosh, that has to be a mistake. Maybe the person wasn't willful. We do not put the police down on the ground. Same way we will not put the public on the ground, because it's a partnership that we are trying to develop, and we really, really, really would want this partnership to work. And then the third one is the police must secure the willing cooperation of the public in voluntary observance of the law. We are not going to be putting down the hammer on you every time you do something, because we expect that at some point you will forget. But in the same way, you have to remember that you have a responsibility, and you have to live up to that responsibility. Okay? So I just wanted to close.
You have to police yourself.
Yes, you have to police yourself.
Police. with us.
Yes.
Because the police with you.
You know, persons from time to time will have regrets about doing certain things.
Yes.
Sure.
You know, I will never regret being a police, and if I have to relive my life, you know, I'll be a police again. I'll rejoin and rejoin
And rejoin.
and rejoin. Yeah, but I wanna thank GQ for being the reliable moderator he has been and continue to be. I wanna thank Inspector Francis Edwards and Marvin Thompson Sergeant for coming. I know you guys are very busy, and it should be the way you guys work are very busy area. I want to thank the management and staff of ZIZ for having us here week after week, this very prestigious radio program, Policing With You. I want to thank the callers who called in. Without their contribution, this show is very pointless. I want to encourage the other person who are thinking about calling but are very claustrophobic to call in and say it how you want to say it, and we will do the sequence. We will connect the dots, basically.
Yes.
So we want to thank you all again for listening, and see you guys next week, Thursday. Thank you.
Thank you.
Tell me what you know about love. Tell me what you know about hate that keeps us separated.
Hello, St. Kitts and Nevis. Go VIP with Prime. Here's